Okay, it says you are live, and I'm live a little early. And so the over under 6,400 is the immediate question for pinball. Quick um, recap of the day. Now let's see where we are here. All right, so it looks like we opened near 6,400. Hi, Selena. Looks like we opened near 6,400, had a little pop up, and kind of had the whole down goes Frazier cascade all the way to 6360. Wait, who said something about 6360? Oh, right there. What do you know? What do you know? Okay, now my daily plan when I sent it out, and I sent it out free wherever on Twitter, everywhere. Um, I said that Gamma was thin. This is early. Let's watch for the zero DTE trades like we do in my server in my chat to set the edges. Okay? And so my boy the Hoot Owl is doing a wonderful job at all this. And let's take a look. We can just go right here. Let's go right here. Options depth, breakdown by strike. See this? 63.45 puts sold times more than 20,000. That wasn't there in the morning. Go back and look at what the screenshot, what the picture looked like in the morning. In the morning, there was very little here. It was very thin, which is why I said it's very thin. Also notice 6,400. I'm not right below the red line. I don't know if you could see it, how clearly you can see it, but you see the little tails, we'll call them, even though they're horizontal, not vertical tails, but candles, think of tails, think of a doji. Right here is 6,400. What does that mean? That means that customers were buying and selling all day long, back and forth, up to whatever it is, 5,000 long at some point, up to about 5,000 short at some one point. And now, after all that, there's a lousy 127 over there. And I say that to say this again. In the morning when the chain is thin, it's hard to predict where the action is going to be. Sometimes we have more accuracy, sometimes less. And 6380 was a level that we talked about in the morning, and we, if I remember correctly, we went right through that. 6360 was the extreme, and that's what we hit. These iron condor trades came in 6430, 35, and 6345, 6340. I did them too. I did them 25 wide. I closed them. Goodbye, good luck. Also had 63335s. Also had some 25s that came in, 12,000 at one point. Uh, well, 12,000 were traded there. I don't know exactly how many went in, but it was a lot. And so that's where we are. So now we're at pinball. The question was over or under 6,400. And so far it looks like over 6,400 so far. And let's take a look here at, okay, so this is Just the regular heat map. The white means no real hedging required. Free to move around the cabin. The blue is suppressive positive gamma. You head up to it and they sell, but you head away from it and they buy. The bottom also positive gamma. You move toward it and they buy. You move away from it and they sell. Red is magnet, quote unquote. 6405 is looking kind of magnetic now. So if that's where we close, you want to sell that, not buy it. You don't want to close at 6490 and be broke. When you have a butterfly, you're long. You have to have a long that's in the money, unless you do it for a credit, a broken wing, or something. While we're talking about thin, let's look at tomorrow, upcoming day. So if we take out all the gamma from today, because there's a lot, because it's zero DTE, if we get that out of the way, and while it's loading, you can discuss amongst yourselves, or you can vote on Twitter for where the thing will be. Now we're looking for tomorrow. We have a little support in there, 6,400 also. So I use support in quotes. 6,500. Well, we ain't going there. We know that. 6,450, maybe. Maybe it might be worth a 1 DT. I don't know. Oh, the ICUL might be here today. Not here on this broadcast, but today was a pretty big outside day. He usually does one. Lately, he's been waiting two. But I suspect outside day, meaning SPX moved outside the expected move. But I suspect we might see him today. That's tomorrow. Now we have all this red down here. Pinkish, not a lot, but something. 6340 lower all in here. Let's take a look at what that is. What that is this. 6360, 6355, all this stuff. 6325. The selling is below 6250. Thursday, small numbers, the only big size is 6275, possible magnet if we're in the neighborhood. 6300, possible magnet if we're in the neighborhood. It's kind of a hard neighborhood to get to. 6355, okay, that's, think reasonable. 6390. So all the local stuff for Thursday is small. 6425, roughly even long calls and long puts. And so we don't. I'm saying all this to say we don't have much clarity in terms of 1 DTE. We can say we're not going all the way up here. We could say broadly the gamma's positive. And I saw someone today. Oh, what's that? Okay. I saw someone today say something like gamma flipped negative when we were below 6,400. And, that's kind of meaningless. I mean, gamma was kind of neutral. So what's gamma? Gamma's market maker gamma exposure. How exposed they are to moves in SPX based on delta hedging. And we were never negative. We were never in a big red mess. Okay. So I was thinking, that's like saying, oh, we're in negative gas. It's like saying we're in America. We're in the USA. So does that mean we're in New York, LA, or a farm in Alabama? Very different neighborhood, very different response you might get from a MAGA sign in one place or the other. Very different response you'll get from a market maker, and saying we're in negative gamma is like saying we're in America, even though we weren't in it. So typically it's not wise to say we are in whatever. We have negative gamma nodes, we have positive gamma nodes locally wherever we are. These are negative gamma nodes, just a positive gamma node right here. This is negative gamma. So what are we in? We're in here. We're in the middle. We're in no man's land is what we're in. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox now. Oh, David, you if you want to jump on, go ahead. You tend to.
What the heck has been the magic with the IC whale lately? He sure
I
has been
see that this isn't the
cranking.
IC whale. This is someone else.
Oh, this is a large number of contracts, over
Yeah,
20,000.
yeah, yeah. Every day they've been here. I hope they stay forever.
Who's doing it?
Um, I thought it was you.
Oh, I wish it was because they've been having a heck of a lot of luck lately.
Yeah, well, in a way, when you're selling 20,000 contracts, you make your own luck.
Yeah, that you do. What's interesting last week was he put his put spread in first, and as price
Yeah,
to move towards his put spread, then he dropped in his call spread and kind of pulled price back to the middle right between, just like where we are today in no man's land.
yeah. And often what he'll do, you might see like only quote unquote 5,000 or 7,000 ICs come in initially, and then he'll start to leg in and fill out the boat.
Yeah.
And sometimes I've seen him like last week. I don't think we saw it today. I saw him do like wherever, like call spreads on the initial bunch. The call spreads were further away. Then when we went down, he did the second tranche. He brought the call spreads down about 10 points or so.
So let me ask you something. This is probably a poor choice of words,
Go
but
ahead.
in a sense, has this guy figured out a way to manipulate gamma to keep price away from his strikes?
Um, let's get it's something that I call and others have called weaponized gamma. And
Yeah.
I don't know if he's figured it out exactly, but maybe. I don't know. It's kind of interesting, you
It has,
know.
believe me, I've been watching and it has been very interesting.
So you're watching it in the intraday channel, wherever?
Oh yeah. Yeah, because I seen Whale, he gets harpooned half the time.
He
He
gets harpooned a lot, yeah.
these iron condors the last week or so, the way that this guy has been, placing his strikes, he just seems to be able to manipulate price away from his strikes, and he's been very successful. So it's got to grab your attention.
Now, not to toot my own horn, but I will. Last week when he sold, it was, I think, 64.35s. I was looking at the landscape and I said, I sold 64.35 before he did, or I didn't see him do it, thinking, I might take some heat, but that should be good. Now, I know how I do it based on gamma, whatever. Um, that I felt a lot better when he did it, even though I took a lot of heat, because I knew I had like 20,000 people keeping me company, so to speak. Um, so now that you mention it, I'm going to try to do a better job of, in the moment when I see the trades coming in, seeing if I could see something. Like, what's he looking at? Now, what I did notice, and here we have to go to Periscope. Here's like the straddle price, the expected move or whatever, and it looks like he kind of placed his strikes kind of near the expected move, give or take. He placed his calls outside the expected move by a little bit, but in the morning when we were like, I think he did his first tranche of calls pretty early on. I don't remember exactly, but by 10 he had them done. So you know, maybe he did them when we were in here somewhere. Um, so I'm wondering if he's using delta of some sort, expected move of some sort, something like that. Is my Excuse me, is my initial thought. Okay, so where do we pin? We're here playing pinball, right? And I'm not sure if I'm current or not here. This gets sticky, freezy. Let me put SPX up on my other. Okay, we're 6407. Yeah. Oh, and any of you that were watching this morning, I placed some trades based on the gamma that I was able to see in the morning, um, live on TV, so to speak. They filled. I closed them. I tweeted about it. So whatever that's worth, maybe worth nothing. I don't know. But I'm kind of transparent. Kind of transparent. And so '05 pin, I mean, that was my one of my morning IC strikes to begin with. And let's see, so I did something here just or before. So I bought oh crap. So I need below 6,400. I bought this one just before. So opposite, everyone should know me by now. They call me paper hands. Now, if we're over 6405, then these are worthless, and this is money thrown out. Maybe I'll be able to get out for a slight profit, slight loss, just on the IV change and all that in here. So the '05, if we thought about going '05, which I'm not exactly thinking, a buck 30 would get you. That's probably not terrible. Keeps you green down to '05. Well, keeps you green 64, 10, 15, 11, whatever, all the way down to 6405, '03, something like that. But I'm not adding another one. Yeah, 6505 ish kind of looks like where we should be. I'm getting a call from tech support for my internet, but now it's not a good time for me to take the call, obviously. Um, so yeah, we have 15 minutes left, so that's a lot of football to be played. Now we're back within my comfort zone. If I wanted to just, cut bait, I bought it for whatever it was, 80 cents, whatever it was. I could. I bought it for 70 cents. I could close it at a buck 10, a buck 20, and make $30. If I did 10 of them, make 300, whatever. I'm not doing that, but I'm saying I could. One could. Now, this is supposed to be a participation sport. Not sure where everybody is. Let me take a quick peek here on Twitter. Only 300 people watching. Oh man, you guys. Maybe I'll make it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, make it a rare commodity, have the scarcity value. All right, then. Even in the morning, this was a flip. Now, in the morning, the chop zone was at 25 when we were hanging around here. I wrote this in the morning at 6 o'clock or something, probably earlier, 5 o'clock, after we had done this and bounced. And don't get hung up if you read my stuff as bottom, top, chop zone, whatever. They're zones, they're reaction zones. And we're going, there he is, the pinball winner from last week. I was wondering, I was looking, thought maybe you got stuck in traffic somewhere. Just think of them as zones if then where we travel points we're traveling through. Yeah, yeah, I remember you mentioning they're gonna be out of town or traveling for work or something. All right, woulda, coulda, shoulda gotten out over there. Well, now it's kind of I mean, '05 was what it was looking like, but now it's looking like possibly higher. Let's see. So first thing, let's take a quick look at what's going on with IV. So vol went from 19.3 all the way down to 17. VVIX 108 to 104, still chunky. Where's the 9 day vol? That's vol I. We'll look at vol I. We'll make that 9 day vol. Here we go. And so you see where, I mean, if you can, something happened. If you can visualize this as a term structure, the 9 day 17.16 is just a little lower than the regular VIX. So we're not in backwardation, quote unquote. We're not backwardated, but we're kind of flat term structure. Now let's look at the VIX. Stay over here. Let's look at the VIX 3 months. 17, 19, about 2 points. That's a little flattish. And the VIX 1 day, which I think is kind of worthless. People use it. I'm not sure why. It might be worth something at the end of the day or at the open, but not really. To me, if other people know how to use it better than me, that's fine. I'm not the be all end all vixologist by a long shot. That's not it. That's what I wanted to be. Oh, And by the way, in my weekend notes, I talked about IWM, same pattern as everything else. Barron's had a note about IWM. Um, a minor shallow dive on my part found IWM. As of the data I could get, I think August 15th, I had reliable data. So after that, I'm not sure how reliable it is, but a lot of shorts in IWM, so a lot of potential for short covering, plus the rates narrative and all that. I was distracted doing other things, so I couldn't get a position in IWM. I don't have anything currently. Uh, the 3X, was that TNX? Is that TNX, I think? Might be a good way to trade that. Okay, the champion has spoken. And so remember we looked at this before, it was 135 something. Now it's 165. Oh wait, we looked at this one. This one is only 85 cents. So if 608 is right, this is cheap. Are you scalping in the money puts? You sound like you've been hanging out with my brother. He likes to scalp in the money stuff. 60 delta. Yeah, okay. He admitted it. For 75 cents, this looks interesting to me. 60 cents, 55 cents. Come on, baby. All right. I got two horses in there. Now, if I had just done a one to one, I wouldn't have had to do this nonsense. Let's go 150 on this thing for now. Now, if we, wow, hold on. I didn't even see where we were. That was stupid of me. We're at 64.15. Well, we're having a charm rally. Let's go back to, I guess, throwing away some money. Let's go back to where we are and let's look at charm, which is what we should be looking at instead of just talking out our butts, talking out my butt. And this is all supportive in here, so kind of could be anywhere. In theory, it could float right up through this. Doesn't mean it has to because we have this in the way. I bought some calls, didn't buy enough. Well, we might not even close outside the expected move. Well, no, we are. I don't remember what the expected move was on Friday or before the open. I have it in my note that I sent out, but might have been 35 points, I seem to remember. If we just go find my note. Nobody minds, do they? My post. No, that's not how you do it. You go here somewhere. There's McMillan, the OG. Posts. Whoops. How do I read it? We don't want to do that. I have to figure out how to do that. Well, I could do this. Duplicate. There we go. So I'm going to try to find what the expected move was. We had the construction spending, expected move. Okay, so we're going to be inside the expected move from the morning. 63.80, 64.45. You guys can see that. 63.80 is also the Jackson Hole breakout level. Lower band, overnight reaction level, which is kind of where we are now. Labor Day sale, all that stuff. Local 0 DTE thin. Edges likely set by 10 o'clock, and they were. Okay, so we got the bottom of the expected move here. Oh, I didn't put in the top of the expected move here on my cheat card. G Putin Modi, I haven't heard anything about that. And I think I put in, I don't know if it made it into my notes. Man, I edited it. It was in my weekend note, the thing about macro bond stuff. Okay, so obviously we're not doing that. And so here we are. Thank you. Thank you. Pencils down. Where are we? 15. Son of a bitch. Oh well, those flies died. We kind of snuck right in here. We got right above this. So let's see what the closing position was. We closed right on this, right below this short strike. Market make a long customer short strike. Yeah, I was too low too. I was too low too. But for the sake of learning, if we put this on gamma, I don't know if it'll update or if it won't because we're closed. Seems kind of stuck. But okay, so let's see what we could see. So this is tomorrow, I think. 50 points away is a winner for sure. 7 points off is 1,000 miles. Unless you're like in a 25 wide, in which case you're good. Oh, that's today. Okay. So how do we close in Gamma Land? Right on the blue. See how much gamma that little bit had at the close? That dark blue. Now let's look at what tomorrow looks like. You get bragging rights for sure For sure. You kidding me? I need to make like a pinball winner T-shirt or something, or a hat. We can keep a running tally of like people for the week. I'd wear it. Be careful. I just might do it. All right. So what does tomorrow look like broadly? I mean, 6,400 looks sticky. This whole area, 6,410 to 30. Target from whatever direction, up or down. Of course, this can change a lot overnight. It could be a lot of decay that'll push us up, or an IV increase that'll put us down. 6,450, kind of first stall above to gain perspective on it. Whoops. Uh, we'll go to Periscope. I already have Periscope open. I wanted to go to this. Oh, private chat. It was the highest local gamma. Yep. Yep, exactly. It was the highest local gamma right before we closed. David, now you're learning to how to read the charts. You're learning the jargon. You're learning the jargon, man. I love it. All right, this thing doesn't want to load. Let me just take a quick look here. The one DTE. I sold a bunch of one DTE puts before, and I closed them. Uh, Away from the round number. I want to see if I can get far enough away on the call side. 75 seems pretty far, huh? 80 seems even pretty far. But 80's got no juice. If I'm going to go 20 wide, I can even go over here. 90 cent IC. Let's see how that works. Similar. Take 85. Now I have two on the call side. So let's just get another one on the push side. Let's just get rid of this and make it an IC. Okay. Now I'll put in my usual 50% buy the close. Filled. Opposite 40. Really doesn't even pay, but I do this for sport. Opposite. I'll be cheapskate. 15. Did this one close already? No. Opposite. I got 85. Let's put in 35 for this one. And we'll see how they look tomorrow. Drama. This was all money thrown out. These were some other trades. Okay, that's it. I don't see anything that looks like the IC whale, or you could make an argument. Let me just see something here. Well, let's see. No, IC whale is going to be near 20 delta. Ooh, 18,000? This looks interesting. This looks IC whale-ish. If I wanted to do a 5 wide, a third the width of the spread, and low of the day was around 60 here. $1.20, $1.35, a third the width of the spread. That looks good to me. Yeah, that looked good. Did that fill? Hold on. No, it did not fill. I'll take 5 cents less. Filled. Opposite. Got 130. I'll close it at 0.60. Be a little bit of a cheapskate. Looks like I got a second one. That one I'll do each side separately tomorrow. Now we could also just play around and turn this into a fly here by buying that, or you know, do something like that. We're not going to do that right now, but different ways to play this game. And that's it. Okay. See you all tomorrow. Have a great night. Time to go let the goats out.